The Agrabah marketplace was a lively place, filled with the sounds of merchants and the vibrant colors of countless stalls. Merchants called out selling silks and spices, their voices blending into a symphony of commerce. The air was thick with the scent of exotic spices and the rich aroma of freshly baked bread. Harun, a fruit seller, had the brightest stall in the entire marketplace. His fruits were always the freshest, and his stall was a beacon of color and vibrancy. His dates and figs glistened under the sun, attracting customers from all corners of Agrabah. People would come from far and wide just to taste his delicious fruits. But Harun had a secret that no one knew. Behind his friendly smile and generous demeanor, he hid a dark truth. He used false weights, taking advantage of those who trusted him. Every time he sold his fruits, he would cheat his customers, making them pay more than they should.
Chuckles. Harun chuckled to himself as he counted his ill-gotten coins each night. The sound of clinking coins was music to his ears. He cared little for honesty, only for profit. His greed knew no bounds, and he believed that wealth was the ultimate measure of success. He believed wealth brought happiness even if gained dishonestly. The more coins he amassed, the more powerful he felt. His heart had grown as cold as the silver he hoarded. Despite his wealth, he found himself increasingly isolated as his dishonesty drove people away. One scorching afternoon, a weary farmer named Rafiq approached Harun's stall. The sun blazed down mercilessly, and Rafiq's steps were slow and heavy. He had been walking for hours, his throat parched and his body aching from the relentless heat. Rafiq's clothes were dusty from his journey. His face was lined with exhaustion, and his eyes reflected the desperation of a man who had no other choice. He carried a small basket of dates, his entire harvest after weeks of back-breaking work. Each date represented hours of toil under the unforgiving sun, and he hoped they would fetch a fair price. Rafiq needed to sell his dates to buy medicine for his sick daughter. Her condition had worsened, and he feared for her life. The thought of returning home empty-handed filled him with dread.
"Kind sir, these dates are all I have. What will you give me for them?" His voice trembled with hope and anxiety as he extended the basket towards Harun.
Harun, seeing an opportunity, weighed the dates with his false weights. He had a reputation for being dishonest, and today was no different. He knew Rafiq was desperate and decided to take advantage of the situation. He announced a meager price, far less than their true worth. Harun's eyes gleamed with greed as he pocketed the difference, knowing Rafiq had no other option but to accept.
Announces a meager price. The market buzzed around them, oblivious to the injustice taking place. Rafiq, with a heavy heart, handed over his precious dates, knowing he had been cheated but powerless to do anything about it.
Rafiq's heart sank. The price wouldn't even buy half the medicine.
"Please, sir, my daughter is very ill. I need a fair price for my hard work."
But Harun scoffed.
"That is my final offer. Take it or leave,"
he said, turning away. Rafiq, defeated, accepted the unfair deal. Tears welled up in his eyes as he took the paltry sum. Harun, unmoved by the farmer's plight, laughed as Rafiq walked away. That night, a strange dream disturbed Harun's sleep. A booming voice echoed through his dreams.
Your greed will be your undoing. The scales of justice will be balanced.
Harun woke with a start, his heart pounding. He tried to dismiss it as a bad dream, but the voice lingered in his mind. He remembered Rafiq's desperate face, his pleas for fairness. For the first time, Harun felt a pang of guilt. The next morning, Harun couldn't shake off the unsettling dream. The vivid images of the night before lingered in his mind, casting a shadow over his thoughts. He felt a deep sense of unease that he couldn't ignore. The image of Rafiq's despair haunted him. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Rafiq's sorrowful face, a constant reminder of his own actions. The guilt gnawed at him, making it impossible to find peace. He realized the error of his ways. His greed had made him blind to the suffering of others. Harun's mind raced as he thought about all the times he had put his own desires above the well-being of those around him.
I must make amends. I cannot let this guilt consume me. I need to right my wrongs and seek forgiveness.
Haroun decided to make amends. He sought out Rafik in his village, carrying a bag filled with dates and the money he had cheated the farmer of. The journey to the village felt long and arduous, but Haroun was determined.
Rafik, I confess my dishonesty and beg for your forgiveness. I have wronged you, and I am deeply sorry for the pain I have caused.
Haroun's voice trembled with sincerity as he spoke. He hoped that Rafik could see the genuine remorse in his eyes and find it in his heart to forgive him. The weight of his actions felt lighter as he awaited Rafik's response.